the planet, we believe in making profit at the end, and we believe in the people that we work with. The talent is there, especially in Latin America. And I always dedicate it to my grandmother, who unfortunately, again, she passed away a year ago, but she remains a really big inspiration in my life. She is the reason why I think I'm standing in front of you. If it hadn't been for her to push my mother out of the small farming village, I wouldn't be here in front of you. So it's because of her I'm here. So thank you, everyone. Any questions?
So for how long did you live for with $1?
Oh, it was for, I want to say 6 months, close to 6 months. It was less than a year. And then I came back here and I continued launching my company. But I started SMPLCT in Peru. That was the start.
So this plastic bottle idea, you and your team started it?
So it was already started by this one gentleman and one assistant. They were taking all the garbage, and especially that plastic bottle, and they were crushing it. In Peru. Everything was started in Peru. That's how we got inspired by the innovation that was happening in Peru. So we believe that innovation is happening everywhere already. So maybe in your communities, there's someone brilliant, someone that's already doing something great, but they don't have the capital or the resources or the mentors. So what we did, we brought all that, and we expanded that to its full potential. Yes?
In my hometown, Orizaba, it's a very small town in Veracruz, and they're doing this, but it has like 2 years, and I think it's sponsored by the local government. And what they do is that if you get together a whole plastic bag of these small
Bottle
lids, bottle lids, I don't know what to call them, they pay a chemotherapy of a kid. So everybody's just keeping them and looking for them because it's a nice way to help like sustainability. I didn't know what they were doing with the lids until today, but I didn't know that that they paid a chemotherapy for a kid. So it's a very nice way, and it's a way to see that it's influencing other places in the world, and that your actions are going further and further.
Yes, there's other projects that they use the same materials to create schools and infrastructure. So now imagine a building not being made out of trees, being made out of plastic. That's incredible, and it's even sturdier, more sturdier than your typical wood. And it withstands heat, it withstands cold. It's been all the engineers that we work with. It says it's the best material to work with to create certain products. So right now it's still in test mode. We're still trying to figure out how big can we go with this particular plastic bottle cap. So yeah, yes.
How did you get the capital for this project?
So we got the help from 3 different sources. We got the government to come in, because
Peru?
Yeah. So we got the government of Peru to come on board. We got 2 different investors from Latin America, from Peru, to come on board, and then we got the support from universities to give us the space to do a research, and also the people. So we got the students to be interns. So we had our team, schools, universities giving us a team and space, the money from the investors, and the government of Peru were giving us all access to every single research that we needed. So we got support from every single one. We needed everyone to come in and collaborate on this, not just one particular sector. Yes?
Helen, Cynthia, sorry, thank you very much for the talk. I want to hear your experience about the main challenge of doing an enterprise on this, like in this spin of sustainability and collecting garbage to create something. What was the main challenge?
I want to say that the understanding different communities and their needs, because I'm a foreigner to Peru and I'm a foreigner to Latin America. Even though I hablo español, yo siempre voy a ser extranjera. No soy gringa, pero todavía me llaman gringa. So I think when I come and I introduce myself to these people, there is a barrier already put in place. So for me, the biggest challenge has been and will always be, how do I break that barrier and how do I create that trust? for them to really believe that what I'm saying is you have a chance to create a job here, to create something great with what you're doing. I believe in you. No one has believed in them or in the people. So anyone that comes in, they're going to think, no, this person's lying. So that has been the biggest challenge. The money is always there. Well, the money will come and go. The people will support you, but the persons that you're serving, your clientele, which for me is the people who live on $1.25, getting their trust will always be the challenge, the biggest challenge for me.
Thank you.
What was the biggest insight you got when you experienced living under $1.25? You mentioned that you had, well, of course, you were wondering about if you were having something to eat tomorrow, or you have to steal an apple, say. I think you learn to value things way more differently than you do in a regular society. So what would be the biggest insight from this experience to apply, say, in regular entrepreneurship or social entrepreneurship?
I learned how. I think we're much stronger than what we think we are. I think especially women. I think we're much more, we're smarter than we give ourselves credit. No, really, I think we are, because so as a woman, I could have been raped, I could have been molested, I could have been killed. And there was one moment, there was 3 gang members running to kill me. I was running with my book bag, and my dumbass, I had my camera, expensive camera, taking photos, because I was doing a research, learning about community, so take photos. And there's like gang members running behind me, and cabs are passing by. They're, pressing their horn, saying, "Señora, señorita." Y digo, ¿qué pasó? Digo, "Mira atrás." Digo, "No, la gang, le van a matar." Y yo, ¿qué? And 3 tall men were coming after me. So that could have been my situation, but I think my mind was in the whole, you know what? The poverty, how we see it, it's not sad. Poverty is not sad. Poverty is not scary. They're just as, I'm just like me, a human being that unfortunately didn't go to school, maybe they don't have, expensive houses, maybe they don't have electricity. So their situations, circumstances are different, but they're people at the end of the day with feelings and maybe dreams. So when I went into this community to live, I lived in the border, these 2 towns. In the border, the 2 towns had 2 different gangs. My house, or my room, was right in the middle. So the 2 gangs would come right in front of my house and fight with guns and knives. Every night I would see them. So I took the courage to go up, and one night, and I befriended both of them. And I said, "No, what's going on here?" And I spoke in Spanish, and I tried to be as Peruvian as possible. And then they said, "No, because he's coming to my territory. This is my neighborhood." "No, but they're coming." And I said, "You know what? You both have such a great, opportunity to create something for both communities. Why not create something?" So that was the first time I actually took my fear out and I actually befriended this community. 2 different rivals, 2 different gangs. So that's one story, but I have so many different stories to share.
Okay, so I have 2 questions for you. The first one is, were your parents the ones who took you here to New York, or did you first arrive to another city in the US?
So yes, I was 4, so yes, I came with parents.
Like to New York directly?
So no, my parents resided in New Jersey. So they came to New Jersey, and I lived in New Jersey up until I was 18, 19. And then I said, no more suburban lifestyle, city life for me. And I went to New York, and my internship and everything has been New York since then. So, yeah.
And the other one is, have you ever worked in Mexico, or are you planning to work in Mexico?
So we did. So one of our trips was in Mexico City, Distrito Federal, DF, and it was a few years ago. We work with journalists because a lot of what's happening to journalists in the media is very scary. Now, I'm a journalist. So the U.S. State Department and the embassy in Mexico, we put together a 2-day camp. It's called Tech Camps. and we focused on bringing certain tools and certain, I guess, strategies, how for journalists how to be safe in certain situations. So I work with a journalist in Mexico, and DF especialmente. That and a couple of other individuals, but journalists were our main focus. So that's who I work with in Mexico. Any other questions?
Yeah. How have you leveraged several technologies? So we know you producing and director, and your overall knowledge of technology is deep. So how have you used these technologies in poor societies, or how do you use them also here in the city or different ecosystems?
So I believe in the power of communities, but via platforms, so online communities. So let's say Facebook is an online community, right? Instagram is an online community. So I believe these online communities hold such a strong, they have a strong purpose, and they have a strong power to influence and really change the way that you're building and how you're delivering your stories. So for me, the way that I deliver my stories is through these workshops or speaking engagements, but I also share my stories online through social media. For me, it's very important how I use my social media, not just at a party or drinking. It's meeting someone who inspires me, or taking a photo of places that have that something happened, something incredible happened. So that's how I tell my story, part of who I am as a founder, as a producer. Yes, I was a producer, journalist, as a director. So through my images and videos, I get to share a little bit of who I am and what my purpose is.
What is one of the biggest project, or the one with most impact that you, together with the New York Women Social Entrepreneurs chapter, have undergone?
So one of the biggest projects we took on was a 3-day market. It was an eco-friendly market, sustainable market, and we invited fashion, food, and health companies, small to big companies, to come in, and they had a huge co-working space for 3 days. They had a table, and they sold their products for 3 days straight. It was free for them, but we charged at the door, obviously, because we are a nonprofit. We have to make some sort of money, but they gained all the experience at the same time. They created clientele, and they sold their services and products. So that was one of the biggest products we did. It was called the Give Good Market here in New York City. Mm-hmm. So it was a really good project we took on. Oh, there was a few. Yes.
So what happened with the community? The first community you helped?
The women goat herders. The women goat herders.
Yeah, the cheese one.
The cheese, right? Okay, so we created the program, the project. So we wrote it out. It was a 2-year project that we had to do, sign on board. We brought in experts, environmentalists, engineers, civil engineers, to industrial engineers. We got the U.S. government, the Peruvian government, and then we located the team. We had them to live in this community. So that way they could get to understand and learn a little more of the women and what it is, the whole process, because they have a whole process, but we don't know. So we needed to go into their communities and learn. So 2 years, the team lived with them. They designed the co-op, they built it, and now they're selling their products. And right now we're trying to get it to a global market, like Whole Foods, right, or Trader Joe's, like goat cheese from Peru.
How long ago was the plastic wood thing?
Plastic wood was 5 years ago.
Because I believe it's amazing, and that it could spread to other countries.
Yes, and there's different countries already, and different organizations already using plastic wood. They're using it in different ways, creating more abstract. Like if you go to the MoMA, you see certain artists using plastic wood in their designs. Like you get to see, oh, that's cool, and it costs like $10,000. But in Peru, it costs $0 to make. It's crazy, right? The value. because it comes from a different community. It was a pretty cool, it was definitely a cool project. Oh, one more, yes.
How the community has evolved? Like the first community, you get like education,
So the way that we came in was mostly create the environment for them to come in and create their products. But at the same time, we also had to come in and teach them the basics of reading and writing, because a lot of them didn't know, and accounting, numbers and everything. And in the health, it really came on them. So if they wanted to sign up, it's going to be more costly. So we didn't really go that route. We needed to make it as, I guess, efficient and cheap for them to continue working and continue making and make money at the end. So you have to see your pros and cons and see what really fits. And we wanted them to create more products for a global market. So.
Are you working on a new project?
So right now for the past 3 years, I've been working mostly in Latin America. So I've been working with over 75 different projects, with over 200 different startups and over, can't say how many different entrepreneurs. So there's different projects ongoing. We just recently, my partner and I, there was a grant that the U.S. Embassy was giving out, and there's usually grants, which I told Emiliano, oh my goodness, Eduardo. So we have the opportunity to work with the State Department, and they give out grants, and at the same time, we would be happy to recommend and also share with you how you as an entrepreneur can sign up or can propose your startup, submit your startup in order to get this grant. So through those grants, these startups are able to grow. So we just recently actually chose the winning, I guess, startup for this month. But there's usually grants coming in, so I'll be in touch with Emiliano for you guys to really take use of that and take that opportunity. That's it.
Thank you.
No, thank you.